Should we just start announcing everything as, this is episode 69 minus 2 is 67. What's up, guys?
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast. This is episode 67. I almost said 69, but it's 67. 67 plus 2, 69. Quick maths.
Quick maths.
So check it out. This is the show where we like to normalize checking in on the homies. My name is Mike. That is also Mike. And it's just us today. It's just us. We are back in the lab as the dynamic duo, as the Mikes, as people have started calling us. And we're here now. We fixed our fat boy angle. So we
got the MySpace angle. Thank you, Andrew.
Angle. Thanks to Andrew for that. There's so much more room for activities here because we got rid of our tripods and life's good. It feels more open in here.
I was gonna say I feel less like shit on me. Like
yeah,
yeah, man.
67.
Here we are, 67. My wardrobe today is not an accident. It was one of those things where I was like, what did we do a year ago? Also, because I knew we didn't have a guest today, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna look in the last episode. What were we up to a year ago? It was kind of a rough one.
What were we doing a year ago?
A year ago was a rough. So it was episode 16.
Okay.
I was wearing this.
Okay.
Which is why I wore it. Like, haha. And I watched the episode to, you know, whatever.
Real bad.
Well, it's like, oh man, what a time. A year ago.
We're at the table.
We were coming out of it. We were still at the table inside.
Yeah.
We were still at the table inside. We were coming out of like stuff. I feel like
some things happened. Let's say a year ago.
Mm-hmm. But
yes, we were coming out of some stuff. Okay.
Yes. But one of the things, like right out of the gates, we had missed the rain game because we didn't check to see about vaccinations and
was it the rain game?
Things of that nature. It was the rain game that we missed because previously we had missed the Aslay Dine.
We missed Kill Switch.
Or Kill Switch, yeah.
And then we missed the rain game?
We missed the rain game.
I thought we went to the rain game.
We went to a Kings game later on.
I thought we went to a rain game with Ty. Was it not the same?
That was later on too.
Oh, so this was like still when the COVID lockdowns and protocols
were
still in place.
Yeah.
Interessante.
And yeah.
Baby Yodas?
That
happened around
that was literally, we mentioned that in the episode.
That's when Jesse first started actually hanging out with like us.
Yeah.
As opposed to hanging out with like the group at shows and things like that.
Yeah.
Wish we could go back to those days.
God. Yeah. And so I mean on a more like serious side note, that was when I found out about my cousin passing away.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I was like, dude, that was a year ago.
And that was tough. And I feel like on that episode you didn't talk about it too much. Because you were still kind of like, it was still fresh. It was still fresh to the family, you know, things like that.
Yeah, it was rough. He you know, obviously looking back on it now, he's going through some things. But I remember going to his service and talking with his family. His family was doing his, you know, as good as you can. The nice thing is like we have a lot of family, and so they were really, really supported and stuff. But it's like he was 21, I think, or turning 21.
It's still tough.
Yeah,
that's so young.
Mm-hmm. But it's crazy that was a year ago because I remember that day vividly. Everything, even when I was like talking about it on the episode, I remember everything about that. I remember like about to go to band practice, Burner State band practice, and then finding that out and just being like,
yeah, what do I do right now?
Yeah. But anyway, so just kind of neat that a year ago, like we're off by like 2 days. It was like the 10th or something. Was episode 16.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. And then just thinking about where we were a year ago.
Content wise, we still suck. But,
Yeah.
Visually and audio wise, I feel like things have come a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah. All I had to say, wore this on purpose.
Let me ask you a question. Were we already sucking liquid death's dick at that time? Had we just started?
I think we probably just started, maybe. Like really diving in.
Or really diving
getting in there. Yeah. But dude, look at us now.
Look at us now, Mom.
But anyways,
Thanks, Raw.
yeah. I have actually some things, like a lot of stuff on here. But before we get into it, mental health check. Our mental health check is where we just like to check in weekly to see where we're at mentally. That way we can kind of keep track of like, are we doing anything that's helping us? If we're doing well, and if we're not, maybe what are we neglecting to do, or what can we do better? So, mental health check. Where are you at, Mike?
I'm good. Actually, I feel very accomplished just because of this, right? Like just this little change in things kind of just...
It's a big change.
Yeah.
It really is. I definitely feel more.
It feels more organized and a lot less, like Jesse has to do a lot less shimmying around things because Justin pointed out last week, it looks a lot bigger on camera than it is in person, but now not having the floor space, there's so much more room for activities.
Yeah.
Kick. So I thought we didn't want to show our legs.
Oh yeah. Sure.
But yeah, overall, I think I'm just, I feel like I'm kind of getting to a place where, things are starting to kind of get back on track, which is a good thing. And then, yeah, just grinding. Dude, I had it was such a mission to try and figure out like the Facebook page, linking it to Instagram and making the marketplace so that we can tag products and merch and things like that. But that being said, most of that we're just waiting on approval. And then I think we're going to be dropping a new shirt soon. I think some new merch, new tees.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be rad. But other than that, yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm back into jump roping, drinking. I don't know how well I'll do with this, but I'm drinking ton of water. Mm-hmm. This helps. My voice is feeling pretty good. Like last night, and then on the way here, I did a little bit of screaming, and I feel like my voice is still feels fine. Doesn't really hurt too much. But yeah, just getting ready for April. Just everything. I feel like April's gonna be a big month, and then I kind of feel like it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah,
because of everything coming out after that, Burner State, and then after that, the other band too, Grass for Hope. But yeah, I feel good. I don't know.
So let me ask you this: you've been like back to jump roping, and like you've had a lot of crash diets since last year in this episode. Does your jersey fit better than it did last year?
Dude, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think I might have been. Well, I don't know actually, because I feel like
the table hit a lot. The table did a lot for us, and
yeah,
for our,
yeah. I feel like because NBR played in March, right? Last year, our first show back was in March.
We
So
both played in March.
yeah. So I imagine
we were both trying to get some.
We must have been probably.
I was not.
No.
No. I saw the video that No Way took of that set, and I was, whoo, yeah.
I don't know. I think like right now, I think I feel better now as opposed to last year. Because last year, I may have probably been a little more along as far as like getting in shape and all that stuff. But it was like still new, so everything was just like really rough.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was doing jump rope last year, was I?
No, you were just doing the running. You're hiking.
It's hiking a lot.
You're hiking a lot. We were into golf.
We were into golf. Actually, no, we were probably already out of golf.
We were
by
out
then.
of the golf phase.
Yeah, we were already out by then.
There was a period of time where Mike and I were regularly hitting the driving range. We're not great at it. And actually, I just saw a video the other day that I feel like if I'd have seen it back then, we would have been way better and we'd still be playing golf. But my clubs are in storage. Just saying.
Dude,
We dust them off, you know.
we got 6 shoes. We got a nice little.
We got golf
wardrobe.
Nikes.
Yeah.
We got straight up Air Max golf. Well, you got Roshi.
We look fucking.
We look sick
We look
until we
legit.
swung.
Yeah.
And
then-
until we swung. Which one is it?
Until we
Swung.
swung in front of people,
Unless
So we start swinging in front of people.
Swanging.
swinging. I feel like we were getting. I feel like we were getting better.
We were getting better. In the eyes of your brother, we weren't getting better.
Yeah.
To us, though, it felt right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. I would like to do that again, like play golf, but it's just. Oh, you know what killed golf for us was when I started working at my job. My last job.
That's fair.
Because I didn't want to do anything after that. Like working there, I didn't want to do anything. But anyways, so we kind of were talking about this right before we started filming, but AFI, A Fire Inside, played at the Forum here in Los Angeles, and they played Sing the Sorrow. Regardless of if you're a fan of AFI or not, anyone listening, I kind of want to go into the fact that so AFI has been around since like early 90s. And I don't know how many albums they have. Maybe Jesse, if you want to take a peek, sees. But they have, I would say, at least 8 albums.
Minimum.
At minimum. And so they played, and tickets were not cheap at the Forum. And from my understanding, I did not. Neither of us went. Jesse went, and from my understanding is they played the album in its entirety, which is cool.
13 albums.
13 albums.
13 records.
I didn't count the commentary ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or probably.
Because there's the deluxe versions, the commentary version, and the.
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah. I think they're probably at 10. Really. Then.
No, it's 13. I counted it without the commentary. version.
Really?
Yeah. Since 95.
I don't need your phone.
Get it out of here.
Get that shit out of my
Well,
face.
either way.
Get that phone out of my face.
But all this to say, with how much that you're paying to go see them, is them just playing that album? Is that worth
rough.
all that money?
That's rough, man, because yeah, even the Thrice, like, you know, we kind of talked about this beforehand, but even with the Thrice 20-year anniversary show, they still played other jams.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've got to, like, you know, you can play the record in full, but still hit us with some other, like, 13 records. Like, you don't put out 13 records and not have at least one banger on each record, right?
Dude.
So then at least throw like 3-4 in there, because if they're only playing one record, that's got to be what, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like-
Even if it was one of their longer ones, which I don't even think it is. It's 13 songs, an hour, 55 minutes.
Okay. So that I'm still though, like, you're paying how much for these tickets? How many other bands were on that bill? 2? Maybe 3?
3.
So 4 bands. That's plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
What time were you guys out of there? Like, what time did you guys leave that show?
We didn't get to Joe's place like around 12, so like we left like around 11.
You left the venue at 11.
Yeah, at 11. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. To me, it's the same thing. And like I said before the show, the same thing with like Blink-182. Like, I can't pay that much money for a ticket for this. I don't know. I just, it hurts. Like, I don't, for what it's worth, I don't even pay that much money for like massive, you know, touring acts that come through. Like, I'm like capped out at like, you know, $40-50 a ticket right there. Then at that point I'm like,
Yeah, and I played. I think the last time I saw AFI, I paid about $20.
Is that because we're jaded? Like, does that have anything to do with the fact that like we've been behind the scenes? Maybe not on a production that big, but because we've seen everything behind the scenes, you're kind of like,
man, I don't know. So okay, I don't know. I feel like it's like a case by case, but it's like I don't know, man. A band like AFI, I guess I forget that they got massive and they've been putting out music since. But it's one of those things where like, Sing the Sorrow for me was my last AFI album.
right.
After that, I kind of stopped writing with them. Style changed, but you know, I still liked everything before that. Everything before that, I was on board for, and so part of me, which is why I feel like this is interesting to talk about. Is so if they were playing stuff from like the albums that I liked, maybe I could pay. I don't know. I don't know where I max out at, but
I mean, what's the most you've ever paid for a concert ticket?
Probably Mariah Carey.
How much was that?
Not that much. Surprisingly, not that much. I think.
Well, did she have a?
It was like a mini residency. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I paid more in her merch than for my ticket.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, some merch was stupid expensive.
yeah, I can only imagine. $75 to $100 hoodies.
Dude, Mariah's merch has no business being that hard, dude. Her merch is hard, dude. Mariah Carey has hard merch.
I think AFI's like hoodies and stuff like that were like $45 or something like that.
I mean, that's fine. Like, but the thing too with a band with like AFI, for me, their art's always been cool.
Yeah.
So I could see them charging a lot for hoodies and shirts.
But it's funny, I was remembering you outside of the venue because there was the people selling the fake shirts and like the scarves.
Yeah.
They were like $20, $10. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it just seems like, because I had an opportunity to go. I think at some point, probably all of us had an opportunity to go, but you know, and I would like to see AFI. This album, I really like this album. It's probably one of my last, like I said, it's like the last album for me with them. I can't. But dude, if I would have known that they were just playing the album and calling it, I'd have been like, nah, dude, no thanks.
Way. No way.
Thanks. And
Not me.
And so Jesse, people booed when they stopped, right?
No, they didn't boo. They were just, from where we were sitting at, they were just like, oh, really? Like, what the fuck? And because when he left, he didn't even say goodnight or anything. He just put up his hand and walked off.
That's fine.
That's some rock star shit. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Davey's a complicated man.
I guess. I don't know though, dude. Like that bums me out.
It bums me out.
Not even like, at least hit me with like an encore, right? Finish the record, walk off stage, and then come back and hit me with like one or two songs.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that record's done, but check it out. Like, for you know,
It's still a
especially for
concert, right?
the fans now, right? Like, Miss Murder, massive hit, right? They could have come out and played that. They could have played something of older shit.
Yeah.
Like
God
for the
called him
diehards,
sick.
You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It bummed me out because I feel like AFI just has, and they're such a live band.
Yeah,
they're so fun to watch live. I don't know. I heard that and like that was like really disappointing.
Do you think that's the rock stardom?
I don't know, man.
Like, isn't there this is, from what I heard, speculation, isn't a big part of why the Showcase documentary isn't being sold is because they couldn't clear the rights for AFI stuff.
Yeah, but also to be fair, I don't think they're the only band.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are a ton. Like, how do you get a hold of all those acts? But still,
but I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't seem right. Like, part of me was thinking, I was like, maybe Joanna doesn't know the count. Maybe they did play other songs and she just ran it. But talking with her, she's like an AFI fan.
Yeah.
And actually, she probably more know about the
more a fan than
like especially the newer stuff. I don't know any of the newer stuff. So, but it's cool that from what they play, it's not like, and then they had like some visuals and stuff. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
So
Their camera work was spot on. Their like effects stuff was kind of one of the foggers, or like the shoots out confetti and fog, fucked up, and it was just spraying onto the crowd.
Sick.
Yeah.
To me, like, I guess like this also comes from being like old and looking back on like if I knew, like, right, like we're no longer gonna get the 2 shows at Showcase where people are sneaking in through the fucking ceiling AFI, right? Like it's no longer gonna be that anymore. But I don't know, man. It's tough because there's so many arguments to be made now that when you're doing shows on this massive scale, right? Where it's like the artist set the one price for the show, and then Ticketmaster or whoever adds on all these fees, and then you have all those tickets get bought out. Now we have the resellers boosting prices even more. But even then, like, what do those ticket prices are fucking high.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping. Like I said, I didn't go. Maybe they put on such an awesome show that just playing the album was enough for some people. I hope that was the case. But I don't know. It just seems like you probably give a little. I don't know. But then again, I don't know. AFI's been around forever. They don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, thought that we could.
So let's
interesting.
I guess we can see where you really stand on it and find out if that Cycles show is only going to be Cycles songs.
It's not. I'll tell you guys right now.
Heard it here first on the Walking Blind podcast.
We're playing Cycles in its entirety, and we're also playing some other jams too. So, suck on that. Let's get. But yeah, it'll be, and that's a long set for us.
And we're back. We're back. A little.
Got some good news.
A little bearer of good news for us. Sick. I'm excited. Anyways, we're finishing up with this a Fire Inside talk and moving on to your producer notes over here.
Yeah. So this next section is we're gonna just get to know Mike here a little better.
Oh no.
These are all Michael questions. Are you ready?
Shit, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Put me on the spot.
Yes, he had no idea.
Fuck.
All right.
You just wait till next week.
All right. Okay, so you know how like when you first get out of the shower. I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah.
So what do you
These questions I can answer.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So this is one that I don't think you've ever really addressed it. I mean, I think people know that you do voice
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
But I don't think you've gone into like how you even got started. And I'm saying this because I don't really know how you got started.
To be completely honest, there was like a period of time where like I just was trying to find like an extra way to bring money in. Already had the full studio set up because I had had it for music
diamond stuff,
like the hip hop stuff and everything like that. So this studio setup was just basically sitting in the house, and I remember watching a commercial. It was a commercial or an interview of a dude that had done commercials, and it was like this idea of the like casual male marketing, right? Because like back in the day, all the like the voiceovers were all like the radio voices or like shock jockey stuff, right? And they were saying like, oh, advertising is becoming more tailored to just somebody talking to you like a person. And I was like, oh fuck, like yeah, that's right. Like you hear commercials and somebody's just talking to you like this versus like you remember those old school like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting on your couch?
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. Maybe you should be in college. Like shit like that.
The one that drives me nuts. Sorry, the one that drives me nuts is Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
And he's like trying. It's the cool guy voice, and it drives me fucking nuts. It's the fries and a Coke. It's like, dude, I'm like. Ugh, like
and that and like the like shock jockey voice and now like all that shit, and so I was like, And then I read this, and then I read an article about basically somebody on Fiverr, right? Saying like, oh, I signed up for Fiverr and like just started doing voiceover stuff because I had lost my job. And then like it was an article about how he was making like 30,000 a month doing voiceover shit. And I was like, now I've never hit those numbers, but I'm also like very lazy about voiceover, right? Like if I'm being completely transparent, like, I like in order to make that kind of money, you have to constantly be auditioning, right? Like every day you need to spend at least an hour or two, especially when you do it full time, you're going to spend more than that going out and auditioning for jobs. And where I got lucky was I got on Fiverr and I started doing like really just like small projects, things like that. And those would lead to like bigger jobs. And what I would do is I would kind of like siphon them out of Fiverr to like paying me directly and working with me directly so that like I wouldn't lose that 20% that the platform takes. Because like you have like $100 job over there, you only see 80 of it. And then it's also invoiced, so you'd see 80 of it in 2 weeks, right? Which is fine, but like when you're brand new and you're broke, you got to find ways to like make money the way you can. And so what I would do is I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, and you have to do it in code because if you type in your email address, Fiverr will block you.
Oh, shit.
And it'll say, oh, please keep all dealings within the platform. So I started there, and then I started building up like a client base of like referrals, right?
Okay.
So like I would work with one company here, and then I'd siphon them to my personal page, and then from there they'd be like, oh, hey, I got your email from so-and-so. And then so like I built my list of clients after that. And then Ryan, who was on the show, was working with Motor Trend. He had a lot of clients and a lot of people that he would point me towards also. And I think that for me with my voice, like when you hear me talking on the podcast, like it's pretty like casual, laid back, but when you hear like the voiceover stuff, it's very proper, you know, and the ability to like read properly and like speak at like a you know, a pace that's like easy for you to obtain and things like that. So then you have like commercials and like credit union shit that like I shouldn't be doing a credit union commercial. My credit sucks, you know, but then they still hire you for that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. My credit doesn't suck anymore. It did for a long time though. And then like, yeah, so that just kind of like you just develop relationships and build up that platform. One of the things that I had wished I had done was spend more time auditioning for stuff because I did one video game. I'm like an NPC character in a video game. It's a like space RPG game. I forget the name of the game, but there was like I spent hours recording like the little one-liners, and I had to do it as like a reptilian alien. So the whole thing was like, I see that you know, like there's this whole like, and like I had to get fully in character. So like I'm like standing in my room, like hunched over, like, ooh, I see that you have the goods, like shit like that.
Just naked as a lizard.
Yeah, like full reptilian skin, you know. But I wish that I had followed more into that because that's the shit I like doing. Yeah. Like I've done, I won't say a company name, but I've done like you know, stuff that requires an NDA, you know, and some internal things for some companies. You know what I mean? So. Like things like that, like I've done like, oh, here's their training videos, or here's this. I think for maybe a year or two, like everybody that got hired by Kelly Blue Book was hearing my voice on their training programs. So they come in and train and they would hear me like, you know, oh, this is the program that you use. This is how it's done. And then from there, I got like regular clients. Like there was one, I was working for one media company who I basically handled all their tech Snapchat stuff. There was another company that I was working with that had like a bunch of different installation videos and explainer videos, things like that. So, and then the commercials, I did a Spanish commercial. I did like, you know, working, and you've heard the Spanish commercials. Like, I have no business speaking Spanish and I don't speak Spanish.
It's not bad. I heard it too.
You know, like send me the script. We'll fucking figure it out. And then when COVID hit, I was like, you know, I had like a nice chunk of change coming in, and COVID hit and nobody was working. So all these actors and actresses started going into voiceover. this is how I can make money from home. And then I started losing out gigs to like, well, of course you want the guy from fucking 30 Rock to be on your commercial instead of me or things like that. So like I still do it. There have been a couple companies actually that like folded during COVID that I was on basically a contract with. And so there was like, all of a sudden here's like a couple grand a month that are just gone. Right. And it's like, fuck, like how do you jump back from that? But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. It was just like a random, like, well, let me do this. And you can still find me on Fiverr, but I just boosted my prices way higher than they were in the start.
Did you do a Super Bowl commercial?
I did. I did a Super Bowl commercial for 4-Wheel Parts. So a few years back, there was like a cool little like BF Goodrich 4-Wheel Parts commercial. Yeah. I've done commercials for like the MGM Casino and like their whole like Gulfstream like entertainment area. Protein powders. I mean, like I've done my protein commercial. Yeah, all kinds of the most random stuff. I did. You'll think this one's funny. I did an ad for an erotic novel.
Yes, dude.
Named Chub Rub. It was it was an erotic novel for a plus size girl.
Oh.
From her perspective. And I was brand new to voiceover. Didn't know what I was doing. Pretty sure my audio quality kind of sucked because like, you know, the room I was in, I was just in my bedroom at the time. I didn't have a treated studio. It was wild, but yeah, I've done some interesting things.
Dude, that's funny.
I even at one point had somebody hit me up and go, "Hey, do you lean either side politically?" And I was like, honestly, you know, I'm pretty like down the middle of the road. And they're like, "Would you be opposed to doing campaign ads?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And I won't say for who it was running for president at the time, but had I gotten that job, it would have been a lot. A huge salary.
It's not your face, you know?
Yeah.
It's not.
So,
dude. And I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, I too actually have done some voice.
Mike also is a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
Yeah.
I've been paid. Dude, shit is not easy, man. Shit is hard. I'd like to think I read well.
Yeah.
I read well.
It's different. It's different to read well and then
I read good.
Read out loud well.
Yes. And also, so in my mind, because I'm thinking like, I was like, oh, I'm going to be too shy for this. But I was like, you know what? I'm reading into a microphone. I can do this.
I'm comfortable here.
Yeah. There's no camera on me. And so they told me like, you know, this is kind of energy for this and that. And I felt like in my mind, I was going to be like, you know, reading the script for, oh, yeah, you know, hey, so-and-so. And I just felt like everything was like, and then he went in front of it. What do you mean by that? Was that good? He's like, can you like read, like, you know, like enunciate a little better? Which part? Like the end? Can you also not switch the could to, you know, the would? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. And you'd read could again.
Hey, what do you mean by that? Where can we go from here? What is it? He's like, dude, I don't even know if they really kept. I don't know if they kept my stuff.
And what's funny is I actually keep this in because my job now I train. You know, I'm a trainer for agents, not a personal trainer. Obvious.
Somewhere Andrew was losing his shit.
Yeah, Andrew just lost his fucking mind somewhere. But one of the things I carry over and I explain to them is that like people can hear your voice and your inflection when you're speaking. So one of the things that like I worked for FX, but I worked for the international division specifically for Asia. And what I would do is once a week I would be on calls with producers from FX. So they would like schedule it so that it was like 8 a.m. in Hong Kong. And it was like 6 p.m. my time, right? Whatever that time change was. And basically they would call me through WhatsApp. I would have one headphone in for like before I had AirPods. So I had one headphone in with the cable running down and I'd just hit record on my session and I would do ad reads or like show bumpers or things like that. So like, you'd be like kidding on FX or like snowfall or whatever. And for each one, like you'd get the tone of the show and they would tell you in your ear, like I'd read the ad and they go, okay, this is a comedy show. Can you smile more? when you're reading the line. So then when you'd go from like kidding Sundays on FX, right? They go, can you smile more? So you full on like they're not on video, but they can hear you. And they go, smile more. So smile like kidding on FX, right? And they'd be like, okay, yeah, but pull it back a little bit. So you're like, okay, you know, like, so you go through all those. And then, you know, that was probably like one of the coolest and simplest jobs because I literally would just hit record at the beginning of a session and then just go. And they would give me a rate for every half hour of my time.
Nice.
So that call goes for 31 minutes. You get paid for 2 sessions.
Oh, cool.
So I'd just be on the phone and talking to these producers and stuff. And then we'd go through the ad reads for that week. They'd be like, all right, cool. Yeah. And then I'd just send them the raw file. No editing, whatever. They wanted to pull what they wanted to pull. So hit record, read to them, talk to them, BS a little bit, and then send it off. And then I would just see ads. They'd be like, oh, here's your reel. And then here's all these FX ads, like, you know, like Golden Globe nominations, commercials, and shit like that. So it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got into it.
Well, sick. Great question, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Perez.
Good job, Perez.
This one is more of in the theme of The Last of Us. I was hoping to have, when I wrote these notes, I was like, there's no way I'm missing the finale.
And guess what you did?
And I missed it. I know.
Did you watch it? Yeah. Okay.
So, but the kind of funny thing is I got my brother into the show. So, it's fun. It's nice watching someone else be more, you know, being scared. Because like I'd seen the episodes. You know,
neither one of you do horror.
No,
right?
dude, not at all.
Yeah.
And so he'll be like, something messed up's about to happen, huh? I'm like, maybe. Yeah. And he was like, after the first episode, he's like, ooh, I don't think I can do this one, man. He's like, I don't think I can do this one. And I was like, I know, it's rough. It gets worse, but it also gets better. It's good, and you start to understand why. Yeah, but anyway. So that being said, I haven't seen the season finale, but I will. So whatever kind of a zombie apocalypse, whether it's the one from The Last of Us or just a regular good old fashioned zombie apocalypse, what does it hits the news, at least the last thing you can hear on the news. What does your 24 hours look like?
Okay, so this is, my family kind of has this plan of like, if there's an emergency, we're all going to meet at one place.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's changed over the years though, because initially it was the house my grandparents built in LA. Now everybody's kind of moved out of there, and I would think we would go to the most remote of all the people, right? Which right now would probably be towards my dad's house, like right towards that Beaumont area, and then out into the desert. But I'm assuming I get the news, I figure out something's going on, then it's like, all right, we gotta stock up, we gotta supplies. Probably taking the Feels on Wheels because it's the most, you know, like off-road tires. It's got the most room. We can load up some shit in there. And then I'm loading up on, would have to go load up on ammunition, have to get a few strong and sturdy blades. Like there's machetes in the house, but we'd probably need more, right? Like you're going to need more. And then just like, you know, the basic bug out box stuff. Like you're going to need first aid shit. You're going to need some things that, you know, to carry you over, some supplies. And then I feel like from there, we've got to find the most remote area that we can, right? Because if this is zombie, and we're in the world where we have seen zombie movies and things, right? So we're in that. Yeah. Okay. So we're aware. Okay. So then, it's trying to find anything that can, you know, like armor you up, baseball pads, whatever that is, just to kind of protect yourself. And trying to find a place that is as remote as possible that we can kind of self-sustain in. So I don't know. What are you doing? Am I picking you up?
Probably. Mike, you see this shit? If I'm not a zombie already, if I haven't been bit already.
It's funny because I've asked every time I watch Last of Us, I'm like, how long do you think you would survive in this world? And then I asked Karima that, and she's like, am I alone or am I with you? I was like, either one. She's like, alone, I'm not lasting.
Yeah.
At all. She's like, with you, I don't know. I don't know how long. I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Man, I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like, because I think what's weird is for I think like for our family, because I want to be close to family, my nieces and stuff. I don't know if we would like boarding up at our house would make sense, but we don't have weapons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't have guns in them. I mean, again, in a way we do have weapons because we have like golf clubs and baseball bats and shit.
Yeah.
Projectiles. I have a bunch of baseballs.
But you're not throwing fastballs off the roof though. Like this is not.
Go ahead, let it come in.
Here's Mario. Mikey, you got to throw that ball right. Mikey, you got to hit that fucking zombie, Mike.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I've thought about it with like our family, like as far as like if there was like a disaster and like power went out and all that stuff. Like I feel like our family could do pretty well at the house just based on things that we have, provisions we have at the house. But as far as like a zombie, like you know what I mean, zombie thing, and which means obviously zombies and then probably looters too.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you're realistically yes, zombies are a problem, but they're the least of your worries. It's the other people who are trying to survive and freaking out.
So okay, if it was a zombie thing, I think our best plan would be to try to team up with our neighbors. Yeah. And just be like, hey, and in place of protection, like we have some provisions that we can use, right? Yeah. Because I haven't seen them with my own eyes, but I would imagine my neighbors are they're pretty protected as far as
I've seen a couple of your neighbors. I'd imagine so as well.
You know what house it is.
Yeah. Also, I feel like your neighborhood is a lot more remote than mine is. So for you guys to like board up and hunker down would probably be a good move for you guys. Yeah. Whereas I'm pretty close to like a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking
dude. Yeah, but yeah, getting out to your dad's would be, and that's the thing. Like, if my brother was still living out in Beaumont, then we'd book it out to Beaumont for sure. Yeah. But yeah, then that was it's kind of answering my other question. So, it would be, would you stay down or would you link up or go somewhere? So
to me, I feel like just because of where I live, I would need to go somewhere. Yeah. I would like to find a place to hunker down and like fortify, and like, yeah, you've been to my dad's. Like, I feel like my dad's is a really good spot. Yeah. It's just still, I think us living in California and the way that like our population levels and everything, like we're fairly fucked. Yeah. If anything happens, right? That's where it's starting at. Yeah. Like we're probably ground zero.
Unless you have like an RV and you can like live in wherever you're able to be mobile in.
Yeah, but even then, like somebody's gonna try and take your RV. Or, so you got to be prepared for that. But yeah.
And then last little part of this. So you can have, and so it's just you right now. You can have 3 people, any 3 people in the world to be teamed up with. Who are your 3?
3 people that I could team up with. Anybody in the world. That dude that's on the hunting show, Meat Eater. What's that guy's name? The guy that hosts that show that takes all the celebrities hunting and shit. He's like a professional.
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls would be a good one to have because he's the survival, But of those survivalist people, I wouldn't choose Bear Grylls. Did you ever see there was a series called Apocalypse Man? And he would show you what to do in the case of an apocalypse, like how to make diesel and how to forage for food. Okay, that dude. That guy. I don't know his name. I would need somebody who can like the Apocalypse Man guy. I would need somebody who's good at hunting, that knows how to hunt multiple types of animals. And then I would need somebody who understands farming. And I don't know who. Steven Ranella? Yeah, that guy. So because he's a hell of a hunter. And then like I said, I would need somebody who understands like how to basically build a self-sustaining community. Because I'm the guy that like I could figure shit out, but I need some guidance, right? Like I'll figure out how to make this seed grow, but there's gonna be a lot of failure in that process, and we don't have too much time for failure. So having somebody say like, "Oh no, don't do that, do this," whatever. But I can't think of anybody who I know off the top of my head who's like really good with agriculture.
Interesting. Jesse trying to get on there.
Jesse just
It's too late for you, Jesse.
It's too late, Jesse. That's fair.
Fun. Nice. Well,
Have you ever shot a gun?
yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like I was getting hustled, man, because I went. So you can ask Ryan this, but Ryan Sears. One of the times I went out to Texas, we went to go shooting, and I've also shot. I'm pretty sure I've done shotgun, the disc thing, yeah. But we went like I guess within the last 5 years, we went to a shooting range, and it's like one of my first times really like shooting a handgun, I guess, like that. And like so I'm shooting, yeah, like this, the way I was holding it.
Oh, did they teach you proper form?
Yeah,
Sideways, one-handed?
like basically upside down, kind of how I was holding it. But they
Break yourself out.
but like I'm going, and we have the target, and it's pretty good, apparently a good distance out, and so I'm shooting, and then the guy comes over, and he's like he's like have you shot before? I'm like, no, I've never really like shot. He's like, dude, for your first time, like, dude, this is really good. Like, this is like really good. And I was like, oh, dude, thanks. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, we have membership, blah blah blah. And as soon as he started going into that whole thing, hustled. I was like, was that really that good? I feel like you're lying to me now. And then my buddy Ryan was just like, oh, he's just visiting from California. And he's like, oh, like fucked off. Yeah. So I was like, wait, so
but was I doing good?
Yeah. Well, was it real? Was it not? I don't think it was. But actually, I don't know. I feel like it was. I feel like I was hitting.
You're hitting the target.
Yeah.
I sent Raul something today. Cause Rawl's the guy I send gun stuff back and forth with. Right? Sorry, Jesse. And it was this picture of a guy. He's holding up his, like the piece of paper that you shoot at for target practice. Mm-hmm. And on the target, there's a man holding a gun to the hostage's head, right? And it says, it's basically talking about accuracy. Mm-hmm. It's like when your accuracy is on point, but your judgment is not. And the hostage had all the bullet holes in its head and its body, and the guy holding the gun to the hostage's head, no shots. Hadn't been hit whatsoever. And the guy's just smiling with a thumbs up, and you're like, all right.
He's just helping out a buddy.
Yeah,
he's helping a buddy.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't have to be the murderer.
You don't have to pull the trigger.
Yeah,
I'll do it for you.
Interessante. Okay, so I took to the MBR page, and I had posted about I don't even remember what I asked now. I think it was like tips for someone who's been experiencing anxiety. Mm-hmm. I believe that's the question. Sorry, let me just read real quick.
So these are questions that you asked the NBR listeners.
Yeah, just because I wanted to kind of want to get more active, especially with the stuff we have coming up, resources and things. Mm-hmm. And so I asked, the question was, what are some tips you would give somebody struggling with anxiety? And so I'm going to read some of these responses. And we can chime in on these too. So Trey, he's actually in a really cool band called Light the Fire. Am I saying that right? I believe they call Light the Fire. Yeah. I actually did a guestie on their album, no big deal. For Defeatist, that's me. He said, find an anchor. person or a song or anything that helps to put the anxiety in perspective.
That's fair.
I like that. Joey Groans writes, try to occupy your time with something you enjoy, even if it's just a brief moment.
Yeah, I agree with that 1000%.
I think that's definitely me. Cupacabro. It's a cool name.
Chupacabro?
Yeah. But this one's Koopa.
Ooh.
Yeah. It says, talk to a real friend or distract your brain with activities. Guitar, games, working out, etc.
Okay.
Nice. Stagel Unit. He's also commented on the Walking Blind stuff. He says, talk to someone.
Talk to your friends at the Walking Blind.
Yes. 2D Heart says, hit the gym till you don't care anymore.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight 364.
Does this mean you're only fighting 364 days out of the year and that one day you rest?
Just one day off, man.
Sick.
One day for the Lord.
Sick.
They write, take magnesium, limit blue light exposure in the evening, and hit the gym.
Now, when you say take magnesium, are you trying to shit your problems away, or what is this?
Dude, magnesium is freaking rad for that.
For those of you that don't know, Mike had a nice little period of time where he was just chugging magnesium.
Dude, that's right. Forgot about that.
It was just, a little cleanse.
I'd be like, hey, you want to go to whatever? I was like, I don't know if I can, man.
I'd be like, yo, what are you doing tonight? And he's like,
I'm in.
I just drank that bottle.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for the night. That's what that meant. And then Aspen Vokes, actually playing with his band in Vegas.
Sick.
So shout out to Aspen and the band.
See you there.
See you there. Go outside in nature. It'll help you to center yourself back into the present moment. That's a good one.
I'm a believer in the nature thing. I actually saw an article the other day that they measured, I don't know exact facts, but they measured your body and like the energy in your body. Mm. And I'm not talking about like crystals and energy. I'm talking about like just overall, like your body as a like power source, right? Mm-hmm. And they said that the people that walk outside and have direct contact with the earth,
actual grounding,
themselves, are like immediately like recharged.
Yeah.
Just by like your bare feet having connection with the ground, which is crazy because I've always been paranoid about like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking walk outside and I'm gonna get like a parasite and fucking die. That's why I have such pretty ass feet. They're always in shoes.
Dude, I'm always in shoes too, but I don't think I have pretty feet.
But yeah, supposedly your connection to the earth and just being outside is like huge for your body. So, 1000% agree.
Sweet. And the last one from Free Soul Rex. Actually, this is a cool dude. He's in a band. What are they called? Victim. And he's also a vet, an army vet. And he said something pretty.
I thought you were gonna say veterinarian.
Oh. But
he likes dogs.
His comment, I guess I should probably read his comment first. But he said, he said, a nice cup of tea and deep breathing. And I responded to him. Like, cause I was just like, hey, I think it's cool it's a tea.
Yeah.
You know, most dudes in bands. I feel like it's just like.
Tea is huge, man.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel like guys in like, you know, heavier bands, whether they do drink tea, it's like they don't really broadcast it.
Yeah. And
I thought it was cool that he did. And so I was like, hey man, I thought it was cool that you did that.
Dude, the tea, lemon, and honey have saved my life countless times.
Yeah.
And then the throat coat, if you will, saved my life as well.
But he's in a band called A Moment's Notice.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to them from Northern Cal. But yeah, thought those were thought doing something a little different. Put it out to the MBR page.
Funny. Seems like people from the NBR page are just now discovering that we have a podcast. So, welcome everybody.
Welcome. Yeah, it was, whatever. Fair. I don't expect anyone to read everything we put out, but I like to think, I put it out there that we have a podcast, especially gearing it towards fans of NBR.
What's funny, what I always find entertaining is the fact that we've been doing this for quite some time. Like I'm not talking about the podcast, like being in music and, trying to promote and self-promote. And you would think that we'd be better at this whole self-promotion thing.
We're not.
We're not. We're just so bad at it. Like, we're like,
worst.
I hope you find our show somewhere.
Yeah. Like, people will ask me, they're like, when's your band playing? I'm like, oh, in April. They're like, where? I was like, oh, shit. In Anaheim. We're coming back. And then it's funny, my mother recently found out that I'm going to Australia.
She just found out you're going.
Yeah. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. She's like, when? I was like, April. She's like, for how long? I was like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. All right.
Our April's going to be busy, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, but it'll be interessante. That's for sure.
Yeah. NBR's got some shows. And then Australia. And then after that, Burner State, if we're not done, we should be getting really close to being done and releasing our album.
I did see that the guitar tracks were done.
Yeah.
Sick.
Dude, I went, Gerald is the shredder. Gerald is, for anyone who doesn't know.
There's no denying that.
Yeah, Burner State Gerald is a shredder. But recording, it's hard, It's to get it all down, and so I get in there, and him and Kelly are kind of like, you can tell they've just been through the fires, But
Kelly came out with no hair. It's fucking wild.
Crazy. Kelly had a full head of hair,
Yeah.
so when you see him, nah. But dude, just in hearing some of these, I don't even think the song's been edited yet, and they sound dope. So I'm excited for new Burner State to be out, and feels like forever since we recorded the EP, and then now these songs out.
It feels like it's been a while since Burner State has played too.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah,
It's weird to have that
you
be
guys
like
were like
playing
pretty consistent for a while, and then like I heard you guys had this show booked, and
dude.
and then I was like, "Fuck, what happened to this show?" Yeah.
And then, dude, to make it worse, I'm putting this all out there, dude. So, for anyone who doesn't know, just I double booked. I got Burner State had a show on the 8th.
You don't have to relive it. You double booked. Accidentally.
I double booked anyway. So to make
you
it
just left the Burner State dudes out to dry.
no,
You should really find somebody that can sing backup for you just in case.
dude. Well, for like, it sucks because like even there's been NBR shows where it's like it'd be rad to have Burner State play those, but there's no freaking way I'm gonna play an hour plus set and then do Burner State unless we do like 2 songs, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, so yeah,
Daniel can't sing for you guys.
he probably could.
Why don't you guys, whenever you can't make a show, have Daniel sing and have somebody else play guitar? Daniel's got a hell of a voice, man.
He does. He got a great voice.
You heard it here first, folks.
No, I'm on.
Trying to push Burner State into new heights.
Dude, Ryan could play guitar. Or Dan could sing. I'm gonna put it together.
Like I said, I'm the idea guy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, saved me. I had an idea. It was like starting in like the $300 range, and then Mike was just like, "Why don't we just do this instead?" And I was like, "Yeah, like fuck." I had like these grand. I was like, "Man, maybe we do this. We could blah blah blah." And I was like, and I'd been looking online to see how much it would cost to get 500 of this, and then having different ones for different things. And then Mike's like, we could just
we could just do this.
We could just do this instead. I was like,
I mean, we could say this. It's something that we kind of discussed on the podcast that we did with our boy Daniel Rinaldi.
yeah.
Kind of bringing some mental health resources to the shows and bringing that to people so that they have something accessible for them, right? Mike's idea was to kind of do this thing where everything was individually tailored for each show, and I gave him an alternative that would basically work for every show, and like I've watched his brain explode
Because I had spent so much time, dude. Like, dude, I've been on. Like, in part of it was Hope for the Day. They made those cool MBR cards, so that's where I kind of that's like where the idea came from. It's straight up stealing it from Hope for the Day. Shout out to Hope for the Day. And so so I wanted to do like for Chain Reaction, have the resources be listed on a card, and the card would have like an MBR and then podcasts, and then the resources, which is cool. And that way people can have a physical thing to take with them. That costs money. And then I wanted to have one for Vegas, and then I want to have one for each of the Australia dates. Like basically moving forward, I want them to be at MBR shows.
Yeah.
And so those things aren't free.
No.
This isn't like the days when Ryan and I would make flyers for free.
Yeah, we're not
at Kinko's.
We're
or
not
whatever.
copying things at
Or
Kinko's
Staples,
and walking out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was going through trying to like figure out like the cheapest way to do this, but like still make it look cool. And then Mike's like, we could just make a website and just have it there.
Yeah, we're already building or working on building a site for the podcast and everything that's going to come with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of doing individual cards for each show, we do one card that you can bring to every show with a QR code that'll take you to those specific resources for your area. So I mean, sometimes you let Mike run free with his ideas, and that's how we get into debt.
Yeah. So yeah, we literally were getting coffee. Was it?
Yeah, because you had to babysit.
Yeah. And so I was like, so this is where I'm at. The nice thing though, I think most of the
work is done.
Most of the work is done. That was a lot, but it was a nice relief to be like, this is this crazy idea, and then Mike just be like, yeah, we just put it on the website and just have a QR code. Like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that way we could just print bulk of the same card instead of
You don't even need a card. Just put a little.
Yeah, you can have one on the.
Like little.
You can have one there, and then one they can take home.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Mike's the idea guy.
I'm here to help.
So, but anyway, that's pretty much all I had as far as.
That's what you got.
Yeah, man.
I have something that happened to me, and it's kind of embarrassing. And I'm going to tell you the story, and then you can tell me if we should remove it from the podcast.
Yes. Yes, dude. All right.
So.
I feel like we all just thought the same thing. I'm like someone be like, wow.
We should just see who makes it to the end of the episode. Wait, let's do this. On that note, at Walking Blind Pod everywhere, walkingblindpod@gmail.com. We love you guys. We will see you guys soon. Peace.